Hi, and welcome back to SORA Part 2. I hope that you have successfully logged in and that you are now inside the SORA app. I took a moment to put some books onto my shelf so that we could talk about some of the really cool things inside of the SORA app, inside of your books. As you'll notice right here on my screen, I have checked out 2 books. Whenever you are on the home page for SORA, you can see those. And I want to just start with the Hamster Princess and show you some of the cool things that are available to you. When you double click on your book, which you can do from the shelf or you can do from inside the circle, you'll have these options available to you. I'm going to start with opening the book itself, because up here there are going to be some icons and I want to be able to talk you through those as you see them. In this particular icon, you can change it of having one page on your whole screen. If you click on it, it will go into a 2-column screen, like as if you were actually reading the book, one on each side of your hands. But in the 1-column option, everything goes into the center. You can actually search your book, so I just did a search for the word praetors. Wasn't sure what it meant, and you can find where it is and then go to a dictionary and look those up. If there's a vocabulary word that you're looking for in the book, if there's a certain character that you're looking for in the book, all of that is inside this magnifying glass, like you're searching for that one word or that one person. This one shaped here looks like a bookmark, and that's exactly what it is. So as you're reading and mom calls you for dinner or something distracts you, like a cricket in the library, then you might need to just bookmark your page and it will save the place for you until you come back. It's kind of nice because you never lose your bookmark. It never falls out. So that's a nice thing. And then this icon here, it looks like 3 lines in a row. It could be considered like a hamburger. It's the menu. And so inside your menu, you have these options. And inside those options, one of the things that kids like to play around with right here are the reading settings. So if you go ahead and click on that, you'll be able to watch the letters right here. I have them very large so that when Mrs. Tyson doesn't have her glasses on, she can still read the words. But you can adjust the size of your font. You can make it much, much smaller if you'd like to have more words on a page and not have to keep touching the pages so very much. Okay. If not, you can make it as large or as small as you want. Most people read with the white background and the black lettering here, and that's called bright. A lot of people like the sepia. It's a little easier on the eyes, having the tannish background with the brown letters. Personally, if I'm reading before bedtime, I like to have the dark background and then have the white letters kind of jump out at me. I feel like I can see them a little bit better as my eyes are getting tired before bedtime. So those are all options of how you can play around with the reading settings of the words, anything that you might need to help you be a better reader. I'm going to jump out of that really quick. Show you that you can search and get to everything you need. There is a section called Tips and Secrets. You're welcome to read that for any of the books that you are enjoying. And then what I'd like to do is talk to you about the other options once you come out of your story. So, pay attention to your due date. If you're going to need longer than that to read, then you need to make sure that you click on Renew and renew. Beautiful thing about electronic books is the cat, the dogs, no animals can hurt it. Your little sister can't color inside of it. You can't forget it on the day that it's due, because literally for SORA and the electronic book collection, the day that it is due, it will disappear from your iPad. That's a good thing if you're not always the most responsible person and you're constantly late with your library books. It's a bad thing if you haven't finished the book yet and you don't know the ending, because if someone else has put it on hold, it automatically goes to that person's iPad and you won't find out the ending for quite a while. So do pay attention to your due date. Try and get it done in the 14 days that are given to you from start to finish. If you finish early, please be kind to your fellow students and hit this return button where you can go ahead and return it early, and that way if someone does have it on hold, they're able to get a hold of it and read that book faster. If you'd like to send it to your Kindle, you may do so by sending it to another device. I have done that quite a few times because I enjoy my Kindle. Not everybody has one, so it's just a nice little option there for you. And there's other things that you can play with and look at. If it is part of a sequel, it will tell you the titles that you can look up so that you can continue to read in the series. Now, that's all if you have the book, if you put the book onto your shelf, and if all is well with the world. But sometimes you go for a book that's not available. A lot of times that happens with our graphic novels. So what I did was, just to show you, I clicked on Whitebird earlier before I came on to the video, and I went ahead and put this on hold. So you'll see the difference here. Sunny rolls the dice. I can put it on hold if I want to. Once I've done that, it tells me how long I'm going to be waiting, and it even tells me that who has it, how many copies they have, that kind of a thing. So it's really helpful information there about the book itself, little summary. I know that I'm just going to have to wait for the book. If I decide I can get it in my hands and I don't need it anymore, I can cancel that hold. And if I want to edit that, that's all available by simply clicking on the options button that goes along with the book. So now you'll see I have 2 books on that I'm reading on my shelf. I have 1 book on hold that I'm waiting for the email, which will tell me, hey, it's ready, please read it right away. I can make lists of books that I want to read, books that I have read, and I can always check my history. Oh, did I read that book? Did I not read that book? It just shows you all the things that you have checked out in the past. In that way you know if you've read book 1 and you're on book 2 or 3 or whatever. Down here at the bottom, the last thing I want to point out is the Me button. There are badges that you can earn while you are reading inside of SORA. So it gives a quick update all about you, and then as you scroll down, there are certain things that you can do or not do that will earn you little badges for you to fill in, little actions that you can take, genres to make sure you're kind of checking in and not always reading the same type of book. I will tell you, I'm a nighttime person. This is a badge, the early bird badge at reading before 7 a.m. Mrs. Tyson is never going to earn that badge because I'm barely awake by 7 a.m., let alone actually reading. But I am an all-nighter. I am a nighttime person. I've read for 2 hours straight before, so everybody's badges will be a little different, a little personal to you. But I wanted you to know that they're in there, and teachers can use them to track or log what you're reading and how much you're reading. So it's all very helpful. We have had the SORA app for approximately 3 of my 4 years here at Central, and it's very kid-friendly. If you have any questions about it, please feel free to contact me and I will help you even more. Enjoy flying through your electronic stories.